You know, if I'm being completely honest with myself, I probably could have made these pants bigger. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chad. I'm your Tall Tailor, and we're starting the year off with another DIY designer video. For those of you guys who don't know, DIY designer is like a little series I have on this channel where I take designer pieces or pieces from brands that I like and I remake them, remix them, put my own little twist on them. And today we're doing JNCO Jeans. For those of you who don't know, JNCO Jeans were really big in like the early 2000s, a little bit before my time, not gonna lie, but they're kind of like in that quasi Y2K era aesthetic. And they're just super big pants, really big flowy fit, really big pockets. They're big pants, they're huge pants. So one day, you know, I was just scrolling on TikTok and I saw this guy. He was rollerblading and he had JNCO jeans on, super good at rollerblading. Jeans were like bellowing in the wind, and I just thought like, yo, I gotta buy me a pair of these jeans. So I went on the website for JNCO jeans. I was gonna buy a pair, and then I thought, I sew. What am I doing? I sew. So that's why I decided to make a pair for myself. Since I'm making them from scratch, I can pretty much do whatever I want. So I added a couple things that made them a little bit more personalized to me, to make me like the pants a lot better. All right, so that's enough talking. Let's get to sewing. Starting off like I always do with some fabric. Here I have about 5 yards or 5 meters of medium weight dark wash denim. This is gonna be the perfect material to use for the pants. First thing I do is I lay the fabric all over the floor. Now I'm gonna be drawing out the general shape of the front panels of the pants. I'm not using any measurements at all. I'm literally just using the ruler and the measuring tape to get a general shape of the pants. This actually makes it a lot easier to cut the pants because I know they're gonna be big. I know I want them to be huge, so I can pretty much just eyeball the entire thing and get a general large shape for the pants. So this is what the front 2 panels look like after I drew them. All I have to do now is cut them out. Now I'm just cutting them out. This was a lot of cutting to actually do. Man, like my scissors, as I've always said in so many videos, I don't sharpen my scissors, so they're super dull. So it did take me a lot of work to cut through all this fabric. Once I have the front 2 panels cut out, I cut out the back 2 panels and then make them a little bit larger than the front. Not by that much, because at these sizes, it's not really, it's not really gonna matter either way. And this is what it looks like when it's cut out. Here I have the front 2 panels and the back 2 panels laid on top of each other. They're about the same size. The back's just a tiny bit bigger. Now with that done, we can move on to sewing. I start sewing these pants like I sew all my pants with the back 2 panels. I stitch the back 2 panels together at the rise at about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I don't know if I used a 1/2 inch or I think maybe a little bit larger because they're large pants. I think I used a little bit of a bigger seam allowance than a 1/2 inch. Overlock the edge, and this is what that looks like. Now I can get to the fun part, which is actually pleating down the entire waist of the pants. So here I'm just measuring the waist. This is a pretty big waist. This isn't the entire waist of the pants, mind you. This is just the back 2 panels. It's already like 60 plus inches. Yeah, it's huge. And now I'm just taking some chalk and I'm marking the size of the pleats. I think I'm making the pleats about 2 inches, which is a pretty decent size for the pleats for this pants. With everything drawn out in chalk, I just grab my scissors, my snips here, and I just cut out those chalk lines. It will be a lot easier to find and locate the pleats when it comes time to making them. And yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm pretty much just pinning the pleats together. So the pants were about, yeah, as I said, like 60 plus inches for the waist. And with all the pleats, I think I added probably a couple dozen pleats on the back of the pants altogether. It brought it down to, I think, 30 inches, maybe a little bit less than 30 inches actually. This did take a little bit of time to do because there's a lot of pleats. It's a pretty big pants, but it was kind of cool. I put a podcast on, I was just listening to it the entire time I was doing this. And yeah, it turned out pretty well. Now that the back panels are done, I'm going to put those to the side and I'm going to be working on the front zipper of the pants. I do have a dedicated video for making the front zipper of the pants. I'm going to kind of just breeze through this entire process. Here you can just see me cutting out the front flap. This is going to go on the left side of the pants, and I'm just going to be stitching that on as well too. I stitch those on with the right sides facing each other with a 1/2 inch of seam allowance. I always use my iron to press everything flat because it just makes the process entirely like so much easier. So I just always end up doing that. Here's where the contrast stitching of the pants really begins to pop out. What I'm doing is I'm just adding 2 threads in 1 needle to really make that like lime vibrant green really pop out. Here I'm just stitching the zipper onto the front flap that's on the left side of the pants, and now I'm making the zipper guard for the pants. This is my favorite part of this entire, well, not my favorite part, probably like top 5 favorite parts making this entire pants is making the zipper guard, because I add this like, you'll see later, I add this like embroidery to the zipper guard that makes it look a lot better. In my opinion, I always say this, but I feel like more brands should add like embroidery or some sort of design on the interior zipper guard of the zipper, because it just makes it look that much more unique. But even though you're not gonna be able to see it, it's just like a cool Easter egg kind of thing to add to the pants. Here I'm just marking out the left and the right sides together, and now I'm just finishing up that zipper guard. After a quick press and flipping it inside out, I'm just gonna take it to the sewing machine and then add all those little embroidery details. Yeah, that's what it looks like with the embroidery on the back side, and on the interior there you can see it. And now I'm just stitching the left and the right sides of the pants together. Just doing a test fit and adding some pins when finishing up the rise. And now I can just finish up all the stitches with that contrast stitch. It looks really nice. When that's done, I could set it aside and work on the pleats for the front of the pants. The pleats for the pants are pretty much the same. I go over them with chalk, and then I just grab my snips and I just cut out the chalk line, so it's gonna be a lot easier to pleat. And I pretty much repeat the exact same process I did with the back. After that's finished, I'm gonna be taking this to the sewing machine and then stitching over the pleats so that they don't move. This is the most tedious part of the pants. I'm just ironing out all the pleats to make them nice and flat so that they don't like shift or anything when I'm stitching on the waistband, and that they're nice and even. Also, I make all the pleats, the front and the back pleats, facing the back so that they're all in the same direction. Here I'm just making the front pocket, pretty big front pocket. I'm using a curve to sort of eyeball the shape that I want the pocket to be, and I just kind of ended up not using that and kind of freestyling it. I like this look for the pants a lot better anyway. After a quick iron, I can now add on the back pockets. Again, same process, pretty big pockets. They're just regular squares, didn't do anything fancy. Added a little bit of stitching to them, but that's pretty much it. This is what they look like when they're done. When that's done, I can finish up the pants by sewing up the front 2 panels and the back 2 panels together, adding some overlocking on the inside, and pretty much just reinforcing all the stitches so that everything stays nice and strong and it's not going to be going anywhere when I wear the pants. After that, I add the waistband, and then we're done. And we're done. Yo, look at these pants. They're huge, big, exactly how I like them. This is what I was talking about in my previous pant video about the contrast stitching. This contrast stitching looks so much better on this pants. I used 2 threads, 2 of these neon green threads in the same needle. That's why the stitching really pops out and it's really vibrant. And also the fabric is dark fabric, neon, a lot of contrast. 2 main things I want to bring up about these pants. Number 1, I did basically like no measurements when making these pants at all. I pretty much eyeballed the entire thing. The only things I measured were the belt loops. Obviously, I want them all to be even. The pockets, I want them to be even as well too. And kind of the waistband, but everything was just pretty much like, I was freestyling the whole thing. Like the entire time I was freestyling the entire thing. And they turned out pretty well. The other thing about wearing these pants, they're pretty heavy. There's like 5 yards of fabric. There's like 5 yards of fabric in these pants, so they're pretty heavy. Definitely got to be wearing a belt with these. I did make the pants purposefully pretty large in the waist. I think the waist is a 38 or maybe like a 40. I think a 38. I made it pretty large because in the future I wanted to add maybe like D-rings or something to tighten the waist of the pants so it fits more to me. And also I might let other people wear these. I might sell them. So making the waist larger and adding a means to adjust it is, yeah, that's part of the reason why I did that. So I have more options in the future, more options. Just looking at some aspects of the pants I really like. The waistband is about 2 inches thick. So it's a pretty thick waistband. I think maybe 2.5 inches. I have a ruler, I can measure it, but I'm not gonna do that. The belt loops are also pretty thick as well too. These are 1-inch belt loops. So they're pretty large belt loops as well. Of course, really big pockets, huge pockets. And this is what I was talking about in my previous video, the zipper guard on the inside. To be honest, these pants don't really need a fly, they're that big. I can just slip them on and off, but of course I gotta add a fly. I added a lot of contrast here, so you can kind of see the zipper fly. It's like a lot of stitching and stuff, different, like just a whole bunch of contrast stitching, a lot of like embroidery details. I wish more brands did this on the zipper guard of the pants. It's just like a little thing that makes the pants look like that much more unique. Even though you're not gonna be able to see it, you know it's there and it's cool. What else to say? Yeah, they have a really big hem as well too. This hem is pretty huge. You can kind of see like where I folded it up. These pants are enormous. And that's about it. I had a couple of weeks to really like wear the pants, walk around with them. They're kind of cumbersome, not gonna lie. They're kind of like a little inconvenient to wear. You definitely do get looks when you're rocking these pants, but I really like them. I'm definitely gonna wear them. One thing I do have to know though is that I have to figure out the right fit to wear these with. I can't just keep rocking these with like a big tee or something like that. I gotta really think about it, sit down, think, hey, you know, how am I gonna wear these pants? Let me know what you guys think about these pants in the comments down below. Would you rock these? Would you wear them? What do you think? Have you heard about JNCO Jeans in the past? Let me know. Thanks again. Bye.